Hey guys, what is up? It is your girl Kendall. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel, my little sweeties. Okay guys, today's video is a heavy topic, but yeah, this is important to me because I've just been feeling a lot of things lately. I've been having dreams and waking up feeling like bargaining with myself, like just things which it'll make sense and when I tell the story and how I'm doing today. So basically, what made me want to make this video? That's what we're getting into. So today on Instagram, so I've been feeling kind of low lately. And today on Instagram, I saw that my cousin shared on her story these tweets from somebody, like one of her friends. And this really, stood out to me. So no, I am not crazy. I am healed. I am strong. I've been through hell. And during all the hurt, the lying, the cheating, the manipulation, speaking poorly on my name, I remained silent when I could have retaliated and done the same. So no, a woman speaking up on her experience, defending herself, and finally calling someone out is not crazy. It's empowering. It's shedding light onto a topic that is not spoken about much, which is manipulation, gaslighting, abuse, whether that is physical or emotional/mental. Although I was not physically abused, I was verbally, emotionally, and mentally abused. When I was experiencing the hardest time in my life with being sick, my ex thought bullying me after the fact would help the situation, and it did not. So, that I have never... So those who don't know, I've been verbally abused. This is I have made this video before, 4 years ago I made a video like this on my first channel, on the first round of the Kendyl Diaries, and it was the first time me ever speaking about it to anybody, saying what, that was the first time I ever realized what verbal abuse was, and that had happened to me. That I was verbally abused by my ex-best guy friend. And this is a long story, fam. And so reading that, I messaged her, I was like, girl, I found her on Twitter, retweeted all of it, messaged her, I was like, girl, I've been verbally abused and I get it. For the first time, I don't feel so alone. For the first time, I feel very validated because I've never seen anybody else talk about this. Come out and talk about it. No one's ever come on and talk about it. How abusers just make you go crazy, make you look crazy, tell everyone you're crazy, and just so much bullshit all around. And so I'm gonna basically go through everything, probably tell some, I have whole notes here. You girls got the notes because my brain is scattered. And I've tried to block out a lot of things, but for this video, I think it's very important. This isn't me being like, oh my god, I'm so hurt by this and whatever. This is more of educational purposes right now. This is a little venti because I've been not feeling the best the past week. Well, a couple weeks, I should say, but basically since last Saturday, it's just been kind of downhill a little bit. And I'm just kind of at my wit's end, and reading those messages, just kind of those tweets made me just kind of I need to talk about this more, and this is why I need to talk about this more. So basically my story. So once upon a time, 9th grade was awesome. I became best friends with my best guy friend. Well, now my ex-best guy friend. I'm not saying his name. I'm not even going to make up a name. Because no, it's not worth it. And so everything was fine until sophomore year of high school. God. So when things got weird, so I went to Timpanogos High School. So I live in Utah. I'm from Utah County. So I went to Timpanogos High School for a semester of my sophomore year, and then for the second semester, I switched over to PG. And then all junior, I was at PG, Pleasant Grove High School. And so when I was at Timp, like, I was just feeling lonely, like, really lonely. I felt like I was talking about my friendship with this guy to my friends, and they were, like, pressuring, like, pushing me in the direction, like, you need, like, oh, you guys aren't dating yet? Why aren't you dating yet? And this is when I hadn't fully come out of the closet yet. I told a few people when I was 15, and then I just repressed it and just tried to be this good Mormon girl. And I, like, with everyone, like, saying that to me, I remember just thinking, I was like, what if he's the only person that I could ever end up with? Because we're both just so, like, outcasts. I'm laughing because it's pathetic, but I'm like, there's just something about us both kind of feeling like the ugly ducklings of everything. Kind of being the ugly ducklings of everything for a hot minute there. And that's just kind of, I don't know. I'm like, if anyone's going to have a crush on me, it could possibly be him. Because everyone's seeing something, right? So clearly something's there, right? No, sweetheart. And even though I knew I didn't feel that, I just buried myself in those feelings and just kind of went with it. So I was on the phone talking with him one night, and I said he was asking me if there was any guys I liked. We're talking about guys, girls, whatever. This is before I told him. Yeah, this is way before I told him I'm gay. And I need to push my phone aside. It's just gonna, like, distract me. And we're on the phone, he's asking me if there's any guys. So I just said I liked a guy in my class, one of my classes, whatever, who was a senior, whatever. No big deal. Because that's just what I told everyone. Because I told everyone that I liked everybody. Let's be real here. I was really just not right in the head. Not on medication. Not feeling good about myself. Just feeling very, like, repressed. Very, like, I need to be a good Mormon girl. So I'm going to be like, oh, I have a crush on all of these men. When in reality, guys, men, whatever, when in reality, no. I'm just trying to look normal and try to be this good Mormon girl. And so it ended up with me I asked him if he liked anybody. It kind of ended up with me saying that I had a crush on him. Because I did tell him this in the 9th grade when I got cold feet, because I was going to tell him I'm gay, but I got cold feet and was like, I have a crush on you. What do you think? Like, nothing really happened. Just kind of like, oh, okay. Like, we never really, nothing was ever talked about after that, and it was just kind of like, whatever, man, whatever. I don't even remember how that whole situation was even addressed in 9th grade. I really don't. I just remember that. And kind of moving forward after that and not really ever saying anything. And so came up again saying that, like, I like him or whatever, and he goes, I think I asked him if he likes me or something, because he's like, well, of course I like you that way. Of course I have feelings for you. Like, that's what he ended up saying. And we kind of were like a thing. For like 3 months, maybe 2 months, something like 3 months. When I say a thing, I mean like. But the whole time I thought it was legit, and turns out the whole 3 months he was bullshitting me and he lied to me because he didn't want to make me feel bad, which is really awful. I'm sorry, but that's awful. And during, like, all this stuff, this was, like, the beginning of sophomore year, like, I kind of just I just brushed this all in and, like, forgot. I was like, whatever. Because this is when just everything was everything. So, like, whatever. I couldn't judge because I'm the one who's stuck in the closet, right? And, oh, this is really hard to get through, but it's okay. We'll make it through. And so when I switched to PG, I was like pumped to be back reunited with my best friend, of course, to be reunited with him as my best friend. And so things were fine. We hung out, like, it was like every other lunch. So days were set as 8A B days. We didn't have like all 7 classes in a day. We would have 4 classes. And like all 8 classes or something like that. Whatever, how many classes there are, we would have like 3 or 4 classes every other day. I think it was 4. I couldn't tell you. I really couldn't tell you if I had 4 classes or not. It was just 3. Like, so A day was like 4 classes, and then B day was your other 4 classes or whatever. And it was like, we planned like every A day or something like that. Like, that's our time to hang out during lunch. Like, that's our whatever. Now, show that. And then then he started getting really weird, lying about really weird things. Like, he started getting really weird. I mean, like, ridiculously weird. I hug everyone. That doesn't mean shit. I hug everyone. I hug everyone. That's just how I show affection to everyone. To my friends, family, my significant other, my lover, like, whoever I'm dating at the time. I just hug people. So COVID's been really sucky because your girl hugs people. I've still been hugging people because I don't care about that. Because I'm like, no, I'm not going to like deprive myself of human connection. I'm sorry, I can't do that. And so he lied to me saying that, so he was on the football team. His dad was one of the football coaches. He lied to me saying that since he's the son of one of the football coaches, he can't hug girls and stuff. I totally believed this because I was a naive 16-year-old girl who didn't know anything. Naive 16-year-old girl with Asperger's syndrome. Like, of course, I'm gonna go with it because that's just how that works, right? And so I ended up, because I remember one of my friends at the time was like, this is BS. I've seen everyone hugging girls who are on the football team. I've seen them kissing. I've seen them dating. Like, people were telling me this, and I was just like, okay, should I confront him? This is the first time he ever lied to me. And I fought tooth and nail to everyone. I'm like, oh, he would never lie to me. Because he didn't lie to me in 9th grade. Like, we were so close. I thought he was just the most truthful person ever. And so I thought I was the most truthful person ever. And this is like one of the many times I would stand up for him. I was like, no, he's a good person. He would never lie to me. And no, he lied. He told me he lied. And he said he lied because everyone's been saying stuff like they think we're dating. I was like, well, that's stupid. Why would you care about that? Like, we're not. Like, maybe we were like that thing, but that was like non-existent. That's nothing. That's nothing. Like, we're not, and we're friends. Like, your girl's the lesbian here, so that's fun. So that was around the time after, because I did come out to him as gay, and then I was like terrified to come out as like full-blown lesbian because I was trying to be like this good Mormon girl still, and I didn't want to lose people. I didn't want to lose friends. Like, it's a terrifying process of coming out of the closet. It just is. It just is. And not being in denial once you've done it. And so I told him, and then I was like, no, I'm bi. I'm gay. I'm bi. I'm gay. I'm bi. Because in my mind at the time, it felt like, okay, if I'm bi, that means I still say, like, I like guys. So it's not as bad, right? So people aren't gonna judge me, really, right? Just stick with guys. Like, who cares if you also like girls? Just only date guys and say you like both. No. Your girl likes girls. And so, like, I was just back and forth, and he's just like, I don't care, kind of like, whatever. Whatever you want to do in life, basically. And then basically started doing things like kind of like, I think, gaslighting me in the sense that he would do something like overly, I was gaslighted, but I can't remember specifically because I've blocked this shit out of my mind. Like, I have it all written down in that journal, but I probably shouldn't be going through all that story again. So I'm just going to tell the best of my memory at this point. I know I was gaslighted in ways. And I was because he would do nice things for me. Like, really nice things for me. Treat me like gold. And then, like, the next day, or, like, hours later, drop, like, a big bomb on me. Or, like, say something terrible. Or do something terrible. Like, for instance, when I was first at PG, we would eat and, so his dad is best friends with our biology teacher. They're family friends, okay. So they'd eat lunch in his classroom, okay. And so I had a lot of body image issues. I didn't like to eat in front of anybody. And I just said I wasn't hungry until after I went home. Because I didn't want to eat anything until I was home. Because I had a lot of issues. I was overweight at the time. I was just like, I've had a lot of body images. I had a lot of body image issues that were like very severe. And I was just kind of like, I just told people I'm not hungry. That I eat when I get home. Because I wasn't starving myself. I did eat when I got home. Like, I was eating. And I just didn't like to eat in front of people. And we were talking with our biology teacher's kids, the twins, sons that he's friends with, and he has a daughter. Okay, cool. So chill with them, whatever. And we were talking. I just felt like I felt like I was starting to be accepted. I was starting to be like they were acknowledging the fact like, oh, she's one of AJ's friends, so like she's cool, right? Then of course your girl didn't really think anything of being interrupted because, like, I don't know, like, that doesn't, I have Asperger's. I don't take hints, signs, weird things like that. That just all goes over my head. Even when I think to myself, I'm like, okay. So I get really insecure now that now anytime someone interrupts me or anytime people just get quiet or do something, it just makes me, like, even though I know they're not thinking this, it's gotten a lot better, but I just think that people are annoyed with me and just want me to go away. Because that's basically what this situation was. I was told that I was basically banned from eating in that classroom ever again, from banned hanging out in the classroom during lunch. Because they didn't like me. Which ended up being a lie. I was never banned. I thought I was legitimately banned by, like, the adults here. I thought this was, like, an adult decision made with the kids. Like, not even kidding. So I was traumatized by that. And I just felt not wanted. And worthless, and anything that can make you feel like that. And he just wasn't being nice. A lot of mean things, just randomly mean things, randomly lying about the weirdest things ever. And I remember telling him, like, oh, like, this guy whistled at me or whatever when I was walking to Walmart, and then people whistled at me in school, and I was like, okay, why are people whistling at me? I feel like an ugly duckling. Like, no one has a crush on me. No one likes me. And he's like, well, I don't, he's like, huh, that's funny, but I don't get it, because you're not very pretty. He's like, no offense, but you're not that pretty, Kendyl. And I just would brush these things off. I was just kind of like, yeah, you're right. And then I would, like, change the subject. But it really hurt and really put a lot on me for a while. I would be ditched So we'd hang out outside the classroom. I would wait in the foyer. And there's this time where he did fall and ditched me. Someone told me, he said he would be coming out in 5 minutes. Never came out of the classroom. And we ended up getting this big fight in the hall. And I grabbed his sweatshirt. And I was like, hey, like, no, I need to talk to you. And he's like, I don't care how, he was pissed. He says, I don't care how mad you are, how angry you are, but let go of my sweatshirt. He was freaking pissed. And then when he was walking away, I was yelling at him, like, you're a fucking pussy, like, you're a fucking asshole, because I was fucking pissed. Because I've been treated like shit. And this was, like, something that kind of, like, crossed the line. For whatever reason, this crossed the line with me. I was like, fine, I can deal with all this bullshit. I can be told I'm banned from somewhere, but now you're ditching me and being even more of an asshole, and then you won't talk to me about it? Yeah, no, that's not cool. Of course I was pissed. Of course I was fucking pissed. Because I didn't know how to deal with any of these emotions, because no one had ever made me this angry. No one ever made me this angry. Like, I've been angry before with people, but not like this. Not to this level of where I grabbed somebody by the sweatshirt. Mind you, he's like over 6 feet. And at the time, I was only like 5'4", 5'3", 5'4". I'm 5'6" now, but I was like this small thing just grabbing. Not being terrified, just being like, no, come here, bitch. Like, we're gonna talk about this right the fuck now. And so many people just watching the hall. I bet everyone just thought I was fucking nuts for that one. But I'm like, you don't know what I was going through, people. You don't know what he's done to me. And so, let's see. Fusion, talked about that. And then Precious Boyfriends, talked about that. And basically, he told me, so he made me cry on my birthday, my 17th birthday. So I get overwhelmed. I had a meltdown, basically, on my 17th birthday. I get really overwhelmed, and people were telling me, like, oh, if you keep doing this, like, he's not going to be friends with you anymore. Like, he's talked to me about this stuff and whatever. And, like, one of my friends said that, who was also friends with him at the time. And I was like, well, no, like, he'll come out, right? He'll come out. And I was, like, just waiting patiently and just, like, trying to be patient. And then walked by. No, because she said something. I can't remember what she said, but said something, like, on, I think it was when she said that, like, he's not going to want to be friends with you, not going to want to deal with you or whatever. And we literally we walked by the classroom door, and one of the twins got up, slammed the door shut. And that's when I basically lost it. He did tell me he's going to hang out with me on my birthday, and I'm like, I was like, please don't screw this up, because people are already thinking, like, you're just this awful person. And, oh, I forgot, after the, incident, I went to math pissed. After the incident of where I grabbed his sweatshirt, later that day, I tried to get on the phone with him, and I said that I tried to drop his ass, and then I told him that, oh, I was just doing it because I was in front of whoever, because they don't like you. No, I was legit about it, and then I just couldn't do it because I wasn't ready. Like, this whole pull of just, it is really hard to explain if you've ever been abused, and it's someone who you really cared about, and things were, like, fine in the beginning, and then it just happens. You don't know what to do. You really don't know what to do. And it's really hard to let go of a person who you see as someone, as your best friend. And people are like, why don't victims of abuse leave? It's really complicated. I used to ask that question until this happened to me. Promise. And so where was I? He made me cry on my birthday, so I basically had a meltdown. Promised me he was going to hang out with me on my birthday. Had a meltdown. Crying in one of my friend's arms. Comes out like 5 minutes left or whatever. And I'm just like bawling. Because like people saying like hearing so many things at once and then sensory overload. And then that being like a big like message to me and me just like calling my mom, calling my sister, and like, can somebody check me out? They're being really mean. I can't handle this. Like, they're just really mean people. I just can't deal with this right now. And AJ came out, explained, apologized. I should have just kicked his ass to the curb right there. But no, of course, I accepted it. It's my birthday. He's like, girl, you need to go home and just nap. Like, because that was the first day we actually took a picture. That was our first picture together, was my 17th birthday. Which I'm not having any of these pictures anymore, thank God. But that's just something to know, I guess. And then the day after is when we got in a really huge fight. Basically, I said, I'm like, I feel like I have the right to be a bitch because people have been awful to me. I was a dumb 17-year-old. Barely 17-year-old, dumb high school girl. Of course, you say dumb shit in high school like that. Because that's how you feel as a young, misunderstood teenager. And dead ass just starts going off on me saying nobody likes you, you're judgmental. You're awful, you're not a good friend. I think this was more of the epiphany when I found out more of the reason why I was told I was banned from the classroom. This is like, they don't like you. They think it's fucking weird that you just sit there and you're silent and you don't say much. And he said like, my dad thinks it's weird that you watch me eat and all this stuff that's like not relevant or true. Like, I was quiet and I was kind of shy because I didn't know him. I didn't know these people. I did my very best to be quiet. I thought that's what people wanted, was for people to be quiet and respectful. I thought that's what people liked. Nice, sweet, good Mormon girls just sitting there, not causing problems, right? Not causing any trouble, right? Not being too loud or annoying, right? Yeah, no. And then I told him I was done, because that was like the last straw. I said a bunch of things. I don't even know what those messages said. I think that's when I probably told him his cat died because his cat died sophomore year. I think that's when I told him his cat died because of him. Which is really fucked up, but like, yeah, I did say that, so yeah, that's a thing. That's really a thing that happened. And I had a panic attack. Yeah, I had a panic attack, because I would pass him, because I wanted to talk with him. I'd pass him, going. So we talked for like it was like a few days, like the end of the week. So I tried to talk with, I can't remember if me trying to talk with him and then him yelling, go to hell or fuck off to me, was when I said like, hey, we're friends again, because we talked, and then we talked when I got home hugged it out, talked on the phone when I got home from school. I ended up having the stomach flu. Fun times. And I, like, went nuts. I don't remember much after that. With that situation, I just remember another fight happened. And then I tried to talk to him again. And he mouthed fuck off to me. And one of the classrooms I tried to get him out of. Before it was, like, finals and some shit. Like that. And I had a panic attack when I passed him. I couldn't go down the same stairwell as he was going down. I couldn't see him, I couldn't look at him. And then one of my friends took very good care of me before our biology class. And during, it was called Eat Time in Junior High Advisory. So basically, this time before lunch, like a half hour max, where you are in advisory. And it's basically you go to the class that you're failing. If you're failing classes, you go to the class. You have to stay in the class that you're failing. It's like some like detention type thing. Can't remember exactly the whole thing on that. and like do homework. You could talk to people. I just talked with people at that point and just told them like what was going on, like how my best guy friend like was treating me and stuff. And I had some really good talks with people. And let's see. And then I remember very specifically he told me after I said I want to be friends with him anymore, he's like, fine, good luck though. He's like, good luck. He's basically like, good luck without me. I'm like, he basically told me that I'm nothing without him. He said, good luck, you're nothing without me. That's what he said. And at one point, I don't know why we were talking about this, but I can't remember if this was sophomore year or junior year. I feel like it was sophomore year or in between. Because no, we took a break. We weren't friends. Didn't talk all summer. I left it at that. And I talked to him like after I got a dog. After I got our dog Axel, my puppy. This is when Axel, my Boston Terrier, was a puppy. Oh, that's so long ago. He's like 6 now. That's crazy. But he told me, for whatever reason, he basically said that I'm the one he's going to marry. I can't remember if it was during the thing, relationship, whatever you want to call it, if it was after. I just remember at some point on the phone him saying this to me. And so junior year, I talked with him. He was really weird. He wouldn't, because things were going slow. He was like, things can't be the way they were, like, right off the bat. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. But he, like, refused to hang out, like, at all during lunch. Like, we talked and stuff, but he was basically acting like he was embarrassed to be around me, embarrassed to be seen with me. And then after one of my friends found out that I had become friends with him again, and she's like, hey, you're either choosing him or me. Which one are you going to do? Of course, I chose him, because whoever says that, you're not going to choose them. And I chose him. And so I was venting to him, telling him, like, oh my god, this girl's a bitch, and stuff, whatever. Like, what friend says, choose me or the other? Like, that's not how this works. Type of thing. I thought that was really fucked up. Because it is. And basically told me, he's like, yeah, whatever, you don't need them, you have me, right? He's like, probably eventually there's going to be a lot of friends you lose, but in the end, it's just going to be you and me, right? You're just going to have me. And it's going to be fine. It's so fucking toxic. It's so, like, scary. And I was, like, okay with that. I was so not okay in life. This is when I, like, attempted to self-harm. This is when my mental breakdown was starting. And then basically I was humiliated on the football field when I waited around trying to talk to him. I get it, like, in this, like, hindsight of things. Like, yeah, like, it was the last home game. They lost. He was upset. Whatever. Tired, sore, sweaty. But, like, basically him yelling at me in front of, like, everyone who was on the field, like, his parents and family and whoever, anyone who was on that field, heard and watched. And then watched me slowly just walk away. And I don't think I've ever been so embarrassed in my entire life. I really don't think I have. Ever. That is the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me in my entire life. That's repetitive because that's redundant. I know, I said that, but yeah, it really is though. It really is. And yeah. And then during cross country, it was the summer, right when we became friends again, I was told, I was like, oh, I got talked to by, because I was on cross country, during junior year, I got talked to because I overheated, took my t-shirt off, and ran in my sports bra, which I thought was fine, which is normal, right? That's normal, right? Not when you grow up in Utah County and you grow up in a fucking cult. The Mormon Church is a cult. You can't tell me it's not. And basically, everyone's just like, that's inappropriate and stuff. And then I tried telling him, like, that's stupid. He's like, well, girls with your body type shouldn't be running with just a sports bra. Only the volleyball girls can get away with that because they're really skinny. And this is when I lost like 10 pounds, 15 pounds at this point, mind you. Doing cross country, I lost a lot of weight. It was like crazy how much weight I lost, and I've never thought I was ever going to be at that size in my entire life. And I told him I just wasn't doing good, and then he started telling everyone. I basically started telling him like things that I wasn't doing well, like something's wrong, something's not right with me. In the head, I'm like, why do I think about self-harming? Why am I kind of being suicidal? Like why am I thinking about suicide all the time? Like I thought it was really weird. I'm like, I'm not suicidal, but why is this in my head all the time? And like just dark things I would talk about and say how I was feeling. And the night basically my heart physically broke. It felt like my heart physically broke was when I basically stood under the bus and he just like basically was like, no, I'm not going to deal with you anymore. And it shattered me into a million pieces. Like I feel like my heart physically broke because I didn't know what I did. I didn't do anything. I'm like, this time I didn't do anything. And then we got in a fight, and I said, if he doesn't pick up this goddamn phone right now, I'm going to sprint to his house. Then he picked up the phone, yelled at me, then I tried calling again, then his dad picked up, had a talk with him, calmed me down, and then was very stubborn, so who knows, wait it out or something along those lines. And I was like, okay, so that made me feel like a little hopeful, like maybe eventually, but other than that, I had no intention of bothering him anymore. I had no intention of talking to him anymore. I had no intention of any of that. And I just wanted to move on in peace. And this is when I literally snapped. Was after. I cried for hours that night. I woke up with tears in my eyes. I cried the next morning. I had to hold back tears through school. It was a really hard time for me. And I was just very, yeah. And then for whatever reason, one of my friends who was friends with him took it as that I wasn't going to leave him alone anymore. That I wasn't going to leave him alone. And then she proceeded to tell his dad that. And so that Friday, I got called down to the counseling. She told me that, and I got pissed at her, and I didn't go to seminary, and I was just pissed, and whatever, I'm going to go in my U.S. history teacher's class, who I had sophomore year, because he said I was welcome anytime if I just wanted to ditch seminary. And just come sit in his class or be unofficial TA, whatever. And this is hard. And during my second period, I was in sports medicine, is when I got called down to the office. Got called down to the counseling office. I was like, oh crap. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that I need to pay for this. I had money. I forgot I had to pay for my class. My class is being switched. So I had a $20 bill. I was like, I'll just pay it. Not a big deal at all. Apologize profusely because your girl forgot even though I had the money with me. And so Strainer, she sits me down, closes the door, and basically says that I was basically told that if I don't leave him alone, my ex-best guy friend, that was the first instance I was threatened with a restraining order. And I didn't do anything. I did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I think the only time, like, because I did text him because I was having a hard time because a family member, this is private, so I'm not going to say exactly who or what, a family member, basically there was a family emergency, and I wasn't doing very well. And tried to, basically, some angry messages are normal, like, it wasn't weird things. Like, I was a little suicidal at one point, and then I tried to apologize, and then that's when I got threatened with a second restraining order. But it's funny, because the second time I was called down to the counseling office, I was told that, like, hey, they're worried about, like, AJ and his parents, they're like, hey, I said the name shit. This guy and his parents are worried about you. Because, like, some things were pretty, and I was like, yeah, I was having a really bad day. Really bad depression day. I was like, yeah, that's when I barely got on, like, new meds and stuff. So things weren't, like, settled in, and then who knows? I was in survival mode. I would just get angry at random times. I would try not to lash out at people, but it just was something else how I was. And then I texted apologizing. I'm like, oh, they're worried, I should apologize. And I said, I'm sorry for worrying you. I shouldn't have texted that. Like, that's just, like, weird. I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me type of thing. It's a bad day. And then that's when I got threatened. Legitimately, this is when my mom found out that I was threatened with a restraining order. This is when legitimately the restraining order was almost put through. Legitimately. So not for me sending the weird, crazy depression stuff. No. For me saying, I'm sorry and I'll leave you alone. That makes no sense to me. I remember telling my mom this and reading the messages, like, word for word. I'm like, Mom, this is what I sent. I can tell you it's right here. Like, I can tell you word for word what I sent. I showed her. And she's like, there's no way. I don't think I showed her. No, I think I did show her. Or something like that. And she's like, I'm like, I apologized, and, like, they said they were worried about me, apologized, and that was it. She's like, there's no way. I'm like, Mom, they're fucking crazy. She's like, there's no way. You're sure you're doing it? I'm like, Mom, no, that's what I did. That was the last thing I did, was apologize. And basically, to sum it up, I was... Basically, he went around telling everybody I'm effing crazy. People went around telling people I'm effing crazy, saying awful things. My nickname was Crazy Kendyl, with really bad connotations with it. Really, really bad connotations with it. And just basically my almost whole junior class hated me. And just thought I was just this freak. And yeah, fun times, right? And everyone would always look at me and whisper about me. And it was really weird because I've never felt... It's literally like out of Mean Girls. Not even kidding. Like, you know, when they said, like, when she says, when you walk into a room and everyone's quiet and you know they were just talking about you. She's like, yeah, it happened this many times, all at once. And that's what happened to me, like, basically all of junior year. And I did have my friends, who I'm very grateful to, who were my junior friends. And then I was friends with mostly seniors. Like, they were nice. And I was just kind of like, nope, not dealing with that. And then after the fact, basically made my life a living hell. Then 2016, after we graduated, I talked with him like a teeny bit senior year, but like nothing much. And then we became friends. We had a great talk. We're friends again. Things were fine. Then 2017 comes around. There's drama with me breaking up with my ex over the phone. Him saying that it's against his moral code that I broke up with someone over text, even though I was afraid for my life. And just basically treating me like shit when I already felt like shit. And then the girl he was with at the time, her name's Jocelyn. Oh yeah, he was with McKenna senior year. Me and him did talk a little bit and had like little tiffs and stuff because I was very like not over things. I was very like I would like randomly get angry at him senior year. And then the girl McKenna almost like because of me. This is what's kind of funny. You'll notice there's a what's the word? Ongoing thing here. Because of me, McKenna almost broke up with him. Because of me, that's probably why him and Jocelyn broke up. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's probably part of it. Not even kidding. And then Jocelyn blocked me on his Snapchat. So I thought he blocked me, and then I called him like 168 times or something fucking crazy in a row. Because your girl's a crackhead. I was off meds. This is when I was off my meds. Shouldn't have gone off my meds. Somebody made me feel bad for whatever reason. I can't remember or even tell you why. I just stopped taking my meds and felt like I didn't need them anymore. Because that's just like beyond me now. Because I'm one of those people who can't function without their meds. Without meds, it's not pretty. It's not good. And yeah, I just felt really hurt. I was like physically sick, and then we're like, oh, I'm like, can we be friends again? I was like begging him to be friends again. And then we became YouTube friends because we both had a YouTube channel, and we both like that's one thing, like we could get things with him. For whatever reason I got really pissed again, ended up deleting his YouTube channel because he gave me his password. Long story short, don't give anyone your passwords to anybody, guys. Just don't do it, especially if you have a past. Don't do it. Then I sent him all these crazy ass texts being like, go fuck yourself with a chainsaw type of thing. Very violent, very violent. I'm like, your head should be put on a pike. Like, I said a lot of crazy shit like that. And I meant it too. And then we had like a big fight that made me cry. And then we became friends again. And then the rest of 2017, like, things were great. And then beginning 2018, I moved from Arizona. Oh, so I moved to Arizona. I forgot to mention that. I moved to Arizona for my senior year of high school. So I was in Arizona, and then I was told that I was moving back to Utah, and I like had a mental breakdown. He was there for me through a lot of hard times, and I wasn't on meds, and I wasn't doing good, and just like all this stuff. And it was, our friendship was the best it ever had been, ever. So that was August, and we were friends again. So August, September, October, November, December, January. For like 8 months, things were awesome. Things were perfect, basically, almost. No lies, no passive-aggressive things, no weird little, like, jabs at me, whatever you want to call it. I'm really trying to get through the rest of this. And then we hung out 2017 in October. We came down during, was it fall break or something? It was something. I was there for something in October, and I got to see him for the first time in person in like 4 years, like 3 years. Had it been 3 or 4? No, it had been 4 years. I hadn't seen him in person in 4 years. Because the last time I saw him was no. It was it 2, 3? It was a while. It wasn't 4 years, sorry. Because 2014 was junior year, 2015, so I didn't see him for like 2 years. Hadn't seen him in person. And got to see him again. Like, things were awesome. Whatever. Hung out that night with one of our other friends. Whatever. Ended up being a group chat. Whatever. And then just shit went down. Him basically saying he was my therapist. And then I guess he was friends with these assholes in college in 2018 and started talking shit behind my back, but I didn't find this out until they all texted me from his phone, just saying awful things, basically telling me if he dies, it's because of me, and just crazy things that were just bizarre and really hurt me. And I was bawling my eyes out. And then I thought he was going to be pissed at them. I thought he was going to be on my side. Like, there's no way he's going to be okay with this. Like, there's no way he's going to be pissed. Like, he's not going to stand for this. Like, he's not going to stand for this. And then when I tried telling him what happened, he goes, so? They didn't mean that. They probably meant that as a metaphor. And then basically trying to tell me, like, none of that happened. Oh, God, I forgot a big part of the abuse was, every time I tried to address something sophomore year, I was like, hey, can you, like, not say stuff like that or whatever? Hey, I felt really hurt by this. He'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're making misconceptions again, Kendyl. Basically tell me it never happened when it did happen. I know what happened to me. And kind of stuff kind of, like, was going on like that during the situation. And basically he picked these assholes over me, someone he'd known for years, who put everything in to be his best friend, gave him everything, more than everything of myself, tore myself to pieces, just, you name it, broke myself in half, ran myself down for him, stood up for him, just, everything was put into him. All my energy was put into him. And so we ended up having a fight. We were going to talk in person, meet at a park or whatever. But we got in a fight the night before we were supposed to meet up. And he basically said awful things, that he just said a lot of really mean things that were not warranted in any way. And my mom found me bawling in my closet, going to work, crying, talked with me. And then he said more mean things because we were still talking and fighting. I was trying to say that I'm like, this is hopeless. After he said all those mean things, basically said, like, his life's better than mine, it always will be. And that I'm always just going to be a fuck up. And that no one's going to ever want me. Not everyone's going to abandon me. That made me want to kill myself. So I had a mental breakdown. Huge mental breakdown. Went into our family room and just started screaming, I want to fucking die. And then the next day, my mom called, and that's when I was in therapy. The rest of 2018, I was in therapy. And ever since then, I've been the best I've ever been. I'm not suicidal. I'm on the right meds. I'm on the right meds for medication. But were there some relapses here and there? Yes. I've learned to love myself. I've learned that I'm not worthless, and that I'm not damaged goods, and that people like me and care about me, and I'm not going to be abandoned. And I basically have learned what healthy friendships actually look like. There were tears shed. There's been epiphany revealed. Oh yeah, I had an epiphany revealed. A big thing that, like, tore me apart. And just progress with moving on. And back to today, why I feel kind of crappy. Because he ended one of the girls who was awful. and basically very hypocritical in the fact that he treated me like shit junior of high school. He did all this stuff, didn't do anything to help me, and then this girl just randomly comes in, who he's friends with, and the same thing happens to her. I mean, the exact same things happened to her that happened to me, of me having breakdowns and stuff, but like hers, like when I probably should have been taken to an emergency room, I was all alone in my room. But no, she was taken to the emergency room and all this stuff, and I was like, well, I remember I was kind of like really annoyed with him. Because he's like, oh, Tina this, Tina that, Tina's hurt, and whatever. I'm like, that doesn't mean shit, because I went through that. That's what happened to me, and you didn't give a shit. Why are you giving a shit about her? That just felt really hypocritical and really, like, hurtful. Because I'm like, I known you for how long, and tried to put in the work for how long, and I'm just rejected, and this random ass girl comes in, and she's just everything to you all of a sudden. Cool. When you told me you would be my best friend forever. Cool. And basically, I felt like I was replacing this big slap in the face. So I've been upset. So it happens to be with that girl. Things happened into 2018. Said not so nice things to her. Not the very nicest things, but she didn't say so nice things to me, and she ended up being psychotic. Basically forced him to change his number. Almost left him in the beginning of the relationship because of me. See how this is an ongoing reoccurrence here? I think it's kind of funny. And just basically me finding out later that she compares me to her fucking rapist. And that apparently I ruined her life and all this bullshit. But I'm like, but I wasn't lying. Like, I'm not gonna say what I said because I've said. And basically, so what happened is one of the not nice things why she compares me to that. I think it's like really crazy because heartbreakingly, someone like one of a family member ended up murdering like 2 of her best friends, like her best friend and his girlfriend. It's really sad. I've looked this up. I've looked up this case. Like, it's really, really sad and awful. But I was not well. I was really, really not well. I was in therapy at the height of everything, going through hell and back, picking apart every single layer. Like, I'm the onion and peeling back everything. Working through everything that I've never even knew was a problem in my life with what happened with him. And I said, because she tried to tell me that her life's better than mine, and I'm like, well, no, it's not, because A, you have to deal with him, and B, none of my family members killed any of my best friends. Harsh, not very nice, I know, but it's the truth. I didn't lie. It's not like I said, like, this whole thing of, like, her being a fat cunt or something crazy like that. No, I wasn't, like, no personal attacks like that. It was very, like... And then, I guess that makes me as bad as a rapist. I guess, right? Effing fucking crazy. And they say, I'm crazy. And basically, last Saturday, I found something out with them that I knew was probably going to eventually happen. But I found out. Cried for hours. Haven't been the best. I've had dreams. I had a dream last night and I was trying to bargain with myself when I woke up. No, in my dream I was trying to bargain with myself, like, okay, if I make this different social media account or if I make a fake account of someone they know or somebody who he'd like talk to, like he'll talk to me and then I can talk with him and whatever reason, like it's something just gonna fix everything like that. No. And then I woke up like feeling that way and I had to like, okay, that's a dream, Kendyl. That's not real. Don't even try it. Don't even think it. And yeah. This is a real thing that happens. Real abuse is very real. Mental, emotional abuse is real. My brain's been fried twice in the process of having mental breakdowns and what I went through. And so my brain's really scarred, so that's why I have to have notes. There's a lot of things I probably don't remember. That did happen. because my brain's been fried twice. And I'm barely just learning how to, like, use my brain again. And my brain gets better and better, and I'm not forgetting things so often, just short term like I was before. So, yeah. That's my story, and the reason I'm telling this is educational purposes, that you're not alone, and it's not normal for people. So when you fight with friends, it's not normal to fight all the time. It's not normal for those insults to be in every fight. It's not normal for people to say those things to you. It's not normal for any friend to ever tell you that you're not attractive, that your weight is awful, like compares you to other people and says you're never going to be like everyone, tells you to change everything about themselves. That's not normal, and that's scary. And you're being abused. I've been gaslighted, I've been manipulated. He's a narcissist. Like, this is narcissistic abuse. I made a video on narcissistic abuse like a year ago about talking about him. And I think it's funny, every video I've made, I do my very best not to say his name, and then just out of habit, I just say his freaking name, so hopefully I don't go into a downward spiral, because I literally have had to make conversation boundaries with people from high school, who I'm friends with still, who's good friends, and I've had to say, hey, I can't talk about high school, I can't talk about him, I can't talk about how I was before I was on medication, because I just go into a downward spiral and it's not good. So hopefully I don't go into a downward spiral. Like, I cannot say his name. But it really hurts. It sucks that there are people around me with the same name. And I'm just like, why do you have to have the same fucking name? Because I can't say this. Because this is what makes me think of, and I just can't replace that. Even though this person with the same name has nothing to do with anything. Like, it sucks. And I've just been going through a hard time, kind of just feeling a little bit worthless again due to just finding out what I found out. It just brought back, it triggered something, it brought back bad memories, it brought back the hypocrisy in my brain, me being angry of how hypocritical the whole thing is, of me being just like, you're with a fucking psychopath, and then me trying to want to protect him from this girl, but I'm like, you don't give a fuck. You hate him. You hate him more than anyone you've ever in your life. So clearly you don't care about him anymore. Clearly, once upon a time you did. Once upon a time you would have given up everything for him. As a friend, I loved him with all of my fucking heart. I stood up for him. If someone made him cry, I, attacked. Because that's just who I am as a person. You mess with my friend, you can mess with me all you want, but you mess with my friends, you're going down. And that was one of the girls. The girls were causing drama and making him cry and stuff. And he never cries. So that was alarming and whatever. And just all the bullshit. And at the end of the day, I am a happier, much better person. I will always be better off without him. Always be better off without him. I learned very important lessons from him. But I can't talk about the good at all. Because when someone's lied to you so much and so much has happened, the good that happened, how do you know it's actually real? How do you know they meant that? So the good is probably fake. And it was just what I thought it was this whole time. I was ready to be friends with them again, then I found out, the epiphany I found out was that he wasn't ready to be friends with me again, even though he said he was going to be my best friend forever, and said all this bullshit. And yeah. And was telling me to go to therapy before I went to therapy, and was basically planning to drop my ass the second I went to therapy. Which is really fucked up. And he's never been a real friend. He's never deserved me as a friend. Never been a real friend. Real friends don't do that. Real friends don't say that they meant all the good stuff and then treat you so horribly Real friends don't do that. That is monsters do that. People who are trying to make themselves feel better, look better, do that. And then being told like a few months ago that behind my back he's still going around talking with people saying that I'm a fucking psychopath because I had some relapses. Really? You can't keep my name out of your fucking mouth after all this time? Damn. I thought I had the issues. I've been able to get through a lot of things and get over it, but there's some things, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's day by day, but it's progress. There's progress. No more relapses, no more feeling this whole, like, I used to basically have to, like, feel like I had to hold myself down to not try to text him, not try to call him, not try to do any of this stuff. Crazy shit going through my head. And yeah, that's my story. And this happens, and I just need to vent and talk about this because like I said, it's educational to people. It helps people feel not so alone, because after reading those tweets, I'm like, okay, I need to make this whole video again within my notes and share the tweets of what inspired me to make this video. Because I didn't know what video I wanted to make. Talking about all this, just feeling kind of numb at the moment. I mean, kind of really sad at the moment, but just at the end of the day, what's been making me feel better is that my friends are here for me. They've been listening, and that's meant a lot. And I know there's people who care about me genuinely, and who would never hurt me on purpose, ever. It would ever intentionally hurt me like that. And who would never let anything like that happen to me in a million years. So yeah, hope everyone's well. Overall, I'm well. It's not perfect. And I think it's also good to say, like, hey, just because I look happy in a lot of my videos, just because I look whatever, I'm raw. And every day is not perfect. People try to say, like, oh, Kendyl, you're so perfect. I'm like, I'm not. Promise, I'm not. And what's helped a lot is that me going through my spiritual awakening during quarantine, me going through, like, just growing spiritually and just learning all these things that I have to do in order to be sane for myself. And things that are connected with with having Asperger's and with controlling, like, learning my triggers for my meltdowns, learning, like, okay, like, what are my limits right now? And learning how to get back into school, learning how to get back into life. And being a 23-year-old, not being stuck in a 17-year-old mind anymore. So yeah, that's this. Love you guys. Overall, I'm the happiest I've ever been. It's progress. Progress is progress, and it just keeps getting better every day. It really does. And sometimes there's little setbacks like this. And there's sometimes where you're going to feel like shit. And that's normal. That doesn't mean you're back to where you were. No. Because you can think back and go, yeah, I don't give a shit. So why am I caring? Like, well, it's valid to feel this way because he put me through hell. But at the same time, you really don't give a shit, so you shouldn't care. But feelings are feelings, and they're valid. Let yourself feel them. And I hope everyone has a great night, day, whenever you see this. And love you guys so much. Thanks for all your love and support. And I'll see you guys in my next video.